Agri-champion Tony Chu has been making a pivot to infrastructure in recent years with the Makati Subway project in the bag. And just last month, his Greenergy Holdings set up 2 new subsidiaries also to focus on infrastructure projects. Let's get the lowdown from the man himself. Tony, Happy New Year and thank you so much for joining us today.
Happy Chinese New Year, Mimi.
Okay. Tony, first of all, could you give us your take on the inflation print? 4.2%, exceeding everyone's expectations and even government's target range. I know that you're into agriculture, you're into construction, into fintech. How does it all connect for businesses like you?
Actually, higher inflation is not good for the economy, considering that we are currently experiencing pandemic. So higher inflation rate may mean that there is lesser room for interest rate cuts. So I guess what the priority should be is to contain some of the rising prices, in particularly the commodities.
Okay. So from inflation, let's go to your passion these days, infrastructure, building. So Greenergy just set up 2 new subsidiaries, Green Tunnel Boring Company, which is supposed to deal with various infrastructure projects with government, and Green Communities Development, which will build so-called transient-oriented community development projects. Let's start with the Green Tunnel Boring Company. Are there any projects in particular that you're already eyeing for this subsidiary?
So Green Tunnel Boring is a subsidiary that we form, anticipating a joint venture with a foreign firm to dig underground tunnels connecting community development projects to various mass transport stations. So it will be underground walkway, and there could also be extensions from the Makati Subway to various local governments.
Okay.
And the other subsidiary, Green Community Development Corporation, is intended to form a strategic alliance or a joint venture with a big foreign property development company that will build transient-oriented community projects, just like how Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, or Korea is promoting their residential and commercial complex. It's work, live, and entertainment all within walking distance from subway stations or mass transit stations.
Okay. For both of these subsidiaries, the joint venture foreign partners, are they finalized already?
We're in the very advanced stage of finalizing a joint venture agreement. That's why we formed the subsidiary to allow them to come in immediately as our foreign strategic partner.
Okay, and may I ask, Tony, where is the first community development that you plan to pursue?
Of course, Makati.
Oh, okay, in Makati. And how soon? Is it going to happen this year?
The only bottleneck right now is really the travel restrictions. So,
still the travel restrictions?
Yes, okay. Just like the subway project, I guess we could have go full blast if there's no pandemic. Unfortunately, the experts, the technical team cannot come on board because of the restrictions. Now that the city has assisted us in terms of securing IATF exemptions, I think they're coming after the Chinese New Year.
Oh.
Similarly, for our foreign partners, they are likely to be able to come in as soon as the situation about the risk of COVID and also the travel restriction eases.
Okay. You mentioned the Makati Subway. Philippine Infradev is also your company, and you guys are working on the $3.5 billion Makati Subway project. How's the project coming along? Will you be able to complete and begin operations as scheduled, or are the delays just too big?
Well, with this unexpected pandemic last year until this year, delays is expected, but we're very optimistic. We're still catching up, trying to look for ways to speed up some of the processes. So the vision of having the underground subway operating by 2025 is still intact.
Wow, okay, still intact. What do you imagine would be the biggest challenges now, aside from the travel restrictions? Are you seeing supply chain bottlenecks? Any other problems there?
There's some possible hiccups in terms of bringing in raw materials, but I guess we're looking at some short-term delays, but we will catch up on the latter part of the project.
Okay. What gives you confidence, Tony, that these build projects will be able to pick up the slack from last year's delays? I mean, this year you have election season coming just around the corner. You've also got still the pandemic is here. Restrictions are still in place. The vaccine rollout appears to be uneven and still patchy, very uncertain.
Well, from the start, we have, remember our last interview, you asked the question about these mega projects, particularly partnership with China. And I told you that big ticket projects like these delays are inevitable, but we have incorporated the allowances and the tunnel boring machine. If we are able to bring in extra units, that will speed up the process. So from the arrival of the tunnel boring machine, I guess we can achieve the completion of the project within 36 months.
This is for the Makati Subway project?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is for the Makati Subway project. And similarly, for Green Energy, as soon as our strategic foreign partner brings in the tunnel boring machine, we will actually go ahead with building transient-oriented community projects surrounding the subway and also connecting to the other local governments.
I'm very curious, Tony, these strategic partners that you're bringing in for both new subsidiaries, are they from China or from other Asian countries?
From other Asian countries.
Oh, okay, got that. Can you share which countries?
Well, they have similar eyes like us.
Okay. So before we let you go, Tony, another exciting ventures that you've been in. I remember around September last year, you bought a 51% stake in an Australian marijuana company, Yakuru.
Yes.
Very curious, what's happened to that investment?
Well, we had some good tailwinds this week. The Australian government has approved over-the-counter sale of CBD oil.
Okay.
I invest in this project because I believe in its medicinal value.
Yes.
We're not into recreational marijuana. We're only into medicinal marijuana, which produce the CBD oil. And we want to be the first mover in the Philippines.
How soon?
I guess the Congress and Senate are both pushing for the bill. So once it's completed and the IRR is out, we will be able to bring in the first batch of CBD oil from Australia for our Filipino consumers.
Okay, and this investment in biotech, given what we've been through with the pandemic, clearly has highlighted the premium on health. Are you inclined to up your game in the field of biotech and medicine, Tony?
Definitely. The CBD oil is it's just our first step towards learning about the biotech industry. But I believe moving forward, what Green Energy is going to do is the few major pillars. One is the green infrastructure. The other one is biotech that will focus on health. And then, of course, we have our food and agri investment. Plus, the most important project the lowest hanging fruit for Green Energy would be our fintech, the digitalization projects, whether it's from the agri sector or from the electronic payment system.
Tony, you're going to be an even busier man. Moving forward, thank you very much. Hopefully you can join us again when you've got more updates on these developments. Thank you for joining us.
Very soon. Thank you.
And before